Hello, everyone. Thank you for those who are already in and others who are coming. Just a second, I'll get my computer ready while others joining. Okay, so the 23 there, and I'm just getting ready. Okay, so we'll share screen. Great. So welcome everyone. Do you see my screen? I think you do see my screen. So let's get into looking at who voted on the winner of today. So we'll go to our mentimeter.com. I'm getting there. Let me get the chat aside. So if someone you have questions, please ask in the chat or ask in the questions. Do any one of them, that's fine. So I can know that you have something you want to say. So looking at the results of the survey or voting or competition, if you didn't do it, you can just do it now while we are waiting for others. So basically you need to use your mobile, go to menti.com, enter that number, and then start selecting those let me close all the emails so you don't get any interruption hopefully from the email. So far we have tie between final grade calculator and design of electrical circuits. If you didn't participate, get your mobile and vote on one of those. You should have seen the video, or seen the application. You do not vote just by selecting one. You look at that application, you test it, you run it, and then if you like it, you select it or you select something else. And this came in my email to all of you, and I hope everyone was on that list. I'm sure that everyone on the list because you updated all. So that's where we are. We'll take 2 minutes more to do that until everybody is in the room. I can see there are enough, the 34 participants so far. I'm waiting for the rest to join. And I see nobody in the chat. So that's so you can see that this going up on the design of electrical circuits by 1 and final grade calculator 6. Okay, so you can continue voting on it, and we will look at the result later at the end, or maybe you can look at it some other times. I think now we need to focus on our today webinar, and the rest we can do later. Okay, so let me jump to my presentation, and I will start today webinar. and I think it's very interesting, very exciting. I'm sure you will enjoy it and find it useful, because we will be dealing with data analysis or data analytics using Python, our best friend Python. So we'll go through that. So first of all, we will be using a library called Pandas. And one great thing with Python, you know by now, is those libraries. So Pandas is data science, data analytics sort of library that allows to do many things. And today I'll give you just a snapshot of the whole process and examples of what we can do. But later we will dig deep in each one of those analysis. Please, if anything not clear to you, or the screen is not clear, or there's something you're not hearing me well, just say it on the chat so I can see and do something about it. Going now, so we're doing data analysis, data science, we're using Pandas. So what we will do with Pandas today, there are a few things we will do. One, we will read data. We will read data from different sources. One is Excel file, one is comma separated file, and the one is from a live website. Like, for example, we go to Wikipedia or any live website that allow us to read data from and take data from their website and use it in our analysis. So we'll do those three things: Excel, comma separated file, and website. We can do later from a database, from other aspect, from live camera feeding or things like that. So many ways we can do that, but we'll come back to it when at the right time. Then we will do slice and dice, means dividing our data in small segments or components to do further analysis in it, and maybe to better understand the data and the data we have. And again, in Python, this is fun. You will enjoy it as well. So slice and dice. And then we'll do some simple calculations, like calculating totals, average, adding components, or using simple calculation. Today we'll do just only adding the total of group of columns or data. And from that one, you can get an idea how to do the remaining things. So we'll do also plotting. We will visualize the data on the screen using charts. There's so many charts. There's a full week on that or weeks on that charts, but we'll give you just a small example of how you do this in Python. So that's what we will do. So first, let's talk about data analysis or data analytics and the steps you go through. If you want to do anything in life, there are certain process or steps you go through. And basically, you usually start by understanding the problem. What are you really wanted to solve? And what are the objectives, outcomes you want to achieve? So here you identify the problem and you write a statement. I would like to look at student drop rate based on, so you have some objective and statement that you write it and the outcome of that analysis. And that's usually analysis that way. You start from the objective you have. Then you start gathering data or acquiring data. So data acquisition, which what we will focus on it today, is getting data from different sources. And later we will see how we can combine data together and see similarity in those data and things like that. But we'll not do the whole thing today. It's a process, but you need to understand the process. So that's where you look at your data, you take it from different sources and pull it all in one place where you can start from now on doing your analysis. And analysis, again, we'll do in few steps. One is cleaning data. So you have some data that may be missing, how you will deal with those missing data. You have columns with no data, or someone did not enter data, or you have data is in a different format, or it has additional information on top of the data that you don't want it, you want to clean it. So this is a cleaning of the data, and data process will have a week where we can do this and work on it. And here, basically, you format your data in the way that will support you, and you handle the missing data and remove additional not needed data. And you will see sometime when you read from Excel, in the Excel sheet, there is a table, but on top of the table, there are other information that you maybe don't need, or on the left side. So how you deal with this, we'll look at that. Next thing, exploring some analysis and options for analysis. So the objective of this stage is you better understand your data. The data that you have in your hand, you better understand it. You explore it from different angles. You put some test scenarios, and then you look at certain outcomes that you would like to look, and the objective is to more understand this data and come with finding if there are missing data you need to have and you need to request it from someone else, you understand better what are those missing data, and you go and find it as well. And then comes a part that we will not do that much on it, but I think we'll do it, but we're not going to spend too much on it, is where you build the model, and building a model that you can replicate later and you can use it on many things. This is a subject of a complete course that maybe later we will introduce, but at this level, we're not going to get into machine learning, which is another great subject where you take this data, you analyze and some of the analysis, and you feed it into a machine learning algorithm and build the model that you later you can use and replicate and use more and more. We will get in this in another course, hopefully in the future, but we will do some visualization, and we'll come to it in the next step. So here you build the model, and then you validate the model. You test it on different scenarios and with different data, and to replicate it in the future. Now, then we come to the visualization of your data. You're plotting graphs and stuff like that, things like this, pie chart, bar chart, box, all the different type of analysis, and then you write your report. So these are the steps which we will be going through in the course. We will take some time to do that. So for today, giving you an example that help you read data, then do basics analysis on it, and then we visualize the data. That's a simple one. We're just getting you to start. But I think once you finish today lesson, I'm sure you will be able to do many things related to data. I see how you are a great team by doing so many innovative ideas. I'm sure you'll do that. So I have an Excel file, and that Excel file has students' IDs. I have 4 columns. One is for results of question 1 of an exam, and another one question 2, question 3, question 4. So that's an Excel file. How I can read the Excel file in Python and then do analysis in it, like for example, adding the total, drawing a chart of the distribution of the grade, and things like this. So that's what we basically will do today. So again, we will be using Jupyter Notebook, and we will get into the practical component of this course. So first, you need to connect to Pandas, similar to what we did with Turtle. Remember, we used to have import Turtle as T. This is the same, import Pandas as PD, which means connect to Pandas and start using its functions and methods and what it can do for us. And that's the first one. Then the next one, you want to access the data, which is stored in Excel. So you need to store it in a variable. And here I'm using data as my variable. So you can call it anything. You can call it student results. You can call it exam results. You can call it ICT 2013 result, whatever you want to call it, but no space, as we said before. Then you will use Pandas, which this P is this P, yeah? The one, like what we use with Turtle. We used to say T dot forward, yeah? Same thing, Pandas, P, yeah, PD, then read Excel. Read underscore Excel. That's the way you read from Excel file. And then your file name. In this example, I'm using something called exam results.xlsx. It's an Excel file. You know, in Excel file, you have sometimes multiple sheets. The first one usually is sheet 1, unless you change the name. And the second is sheet 2, unless you change the name. Or you give it a whatever name you like. So this one basically is the sheet name. Sheet name equal, and you put whatever name you have there, which usually comes here in the Excel, down in the Excel. This is sheet 1 in my example. So that's how it is. You start by a variable to store your data. You use Pandas, you use read Excel, then your file between quotation. Now this quotation can be single quotation or double quotation. Yeah, I'm using a single, that's fine. Then comma, and then the sheet name, and the same thing, equal sheet name. And now this data is went into my data. If I want to display the first 5 records in the data, then I use this one, data.head. Data.head give me the first 5 rows of my data. You can see question there. No need for colon. Yeah, there is no need. Yeah, no need for colon. Yeah, good. Okay, so head dot data.head, you will get this table, which show you the first 5. Okay, good. So question was, do we need a colon at the end? No colon at the end, because I'm not creating a function or I'm just calling a function that is already in. So that's the way you do read from Excel. So you can change your file name to something else and you do it, yeah? Now, if you want to read from comma separated, it's read underscore CSV. And then the same, except there is no sheet name required. If you need HTML, you just say read underscore HTML, then you put the URL, the address of that website, HTTPS. You need to use a secure connection, and then your address. We will look at examples later. So now this way, we are able to read the head, which is the first 5 rows. Just look at it, the first one start at index 0. Yeah, and that you need to remember, the first one is index 0. And you can see in the programming, 0 is the first start of an index. Remember, I think Raja was talking last time about the list. The first one is 0 in the list. And in the string, the first letter in a string is in location 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the columns, okay? What we call this one, we call it a data frame, yeah? So this is a data frame, and later you will see it's a function there is called data frame written in this format that we can use later for additional data that we need to acquire. Okay. Now, if you want to get the last 5 records of your sheet, and always good to look at the first 5, the last 5. So you get more familiar with your data. And if there's additional things that you don't need, maybe down, or additional thing you don't need in the top. So you can look at it and remove it, yeah? And there's something on Read Excel called skip rows. Later we can look at it. If there are additional rows in the data, you don't want it. So you can skip it. Leave that one, we will come to it, but just keep there's something in mind to do that. That's one will give us the last 5 records, and it's from 25 to 21. Good. I think we're going, okay. Now, looking at any data frame, it has columns as you would expect, and it has rows. And these columns, we can segregate them and take data by only one column and put it in one list on its own, and the data from another column, another list. Why we do that? Sometimes you need to do it because you need to link this to another report maybe you have. But you can do this. Sorry for that. Now going back, here is the data which I have in my Excel, which we will work on it live. You will see it. I have a question mark here, it's not coming because this one took that one. How to display data of a specific column. Say I want to show data of only this column. I want only this column or this column or this column. So how you do that? This is the way you do it. Your variable for your data, which we call it data. If you remember here, we did call this data, yeah, data. So this one now is our data. So going back here, data, and then the column name. This big bracket, you need to use this bracket, not the other bracket or curly bracket. No, you want to use this bracket, data, this bracket, and column name. There's another way you can do it as well. We'll come to it. But this is the one that's widely used, and it has an advantage of addressing some issues with the column that sometimes you will see. So, example, if I want data of question 1 only, so data question 1, and then it will get me only this data. And that's the way it goes. Now, data is long, but I didn't continue with it, but that's what you have. So that's one way I can split data and focus on one column that I want to do my analysis on. Then how to get a summary of a column data. You have data and you want to see the summary of it. I'll show you what does it mean. Summary means you need to know what is the maximum in that column, what is the minimum of that column, what is the mean of that column, what is the standard deviation, how many records in that. This is summary, and it's very simple in Python. You just put data question 1, which is the column you're looking for, and use a function called describe. Describe will get you this data. It gives you a snapshot of that column. Looking at that column, there are 26 records in it. The average or the mean is 19.57. The standard deviation is 4. If you're not into statistics, don't worry about it, but I think you will understand what does the mean means. And the minimum value is 12. So the student score in question 1, there are 1 or maybe more than 1 scored 12 in that assessment. And 25% of the students scored 80, and that's where. And then the maximum score is 25, and this data is type float 6.64 bit. So this gives you a snapshot of that column. Now you know the average, the mean, everything on that questions you want. And you can do this for the whole data, not only for a specific column. as well. So if you say data.describe without specifying the column, you will get for the whole data. Again, you can use a for loop and go one by one and do it. That's later we will look at it. But this is give you, again, a snapshot or a description of your data, how it is. But now, how to calculate the total? We have this data, student scored here, this record, and the other one. How I can get another column here called total, and it shows the data. How I can do that? It's again simple thing. You see data, bracket, total. This will add a new column here. Once you do that, once you specify a column that is not existing there, it will become a new column. So this will create a new column for you, and then equal. And now you need to add the data of this one, this one, this one, and this one. So basically you say data question 1 plus data question 2 plus data question 3, data question 4. And that will do for you adding all of it. If you go back and say data head, you will get the new data with a new one added, automatic to every student. No need for a for loop or anything. It does it automatic for you for all students you have in your record. For all records in yours, we'll add something called total. And this is how powerful Python, and if you're using other programming language, you will do a for loop and go around and do so many things. But this will do it just for you with one line. So a new column being added now and called data, and it has all the total of those records. Now, going to, you can add another one for average, or you do whatever you want. And later we will look at how we can now convert this one to a grade, which we have done in a previous exercise, how to make what is the 88 will be, okay? That's another thing we look at it. Now, slice and dice. The objective, again, is to manage your data. You have a huge data, but you don't want to do analysis on all this data. You need a part of it. You want to look at it and you want to do your analysis on it. So you can divide it into components. For example, if I want to take data from row 5, from 5 to 9, this data only I want to focus on it and display only this data. You notice you have head and tail looking at the upper and lower component, but here you can specify any range of data you would like to look at it. And then you do whatever you want to. And you can also store it in another variable. So you can just focus on it instead of every time you're going to the whole data. Yes, I can see a question here. If we have 1,000 columns, is there an easy way? Yes, there is an easy way where you can extract all the common the column titles in a list, which we will hopefully do later, and then you put it through a for loop to go through all of them and add them for you in one line, and then you can do that. So we'll do that. There is a way you extract the title of the columns. There is a way you extract in a column itself unique data that's only appeared once, like student ID. You have student register in 5 courses, but you need only one ID for that student. So there's a way you can get a unique data from a column, and we will come to that. It's coming later into our course. Now, back to slicing data. So I need to get data from 5 to 10. This is the way to do it. Data, starting row, colon, ending row, +1. So if I want to get from 5 to 9, I need to put starting 5, ending 10. Because if I put 9, I will get only 5 to 8. Yeah, so you need to add 1 to the ending point. So this, you do that like this, data 5 to 10, okay, you will get this. So this is your data from 5 to 9, yeah? Because the last one is not included. So I put 5, it didn't get me 10. I put 10, sorry, but it didn't get me 10 because we start by 0. That's the reason behind it. So always the one you want to get, you add 1 to it. Okay, so that's taking this data, which we have. Now, if you want to jump, I don't want to take 5, then 6, then 7, 8. Now I want to take 5, then I want to take 9, 7, and then I want to take 9. I want to jump by 2. Okay, this is how you do it. Starting row, colon. It's not semicolon or column, it is colon, yeah? Then ending plus 1, another colon here, and then the step you want to do. So you want to jump by 2, you jump by 3, you jump by 4, whatever you want to do. That's where you do. And this is an example, 5 to 10, then step 2. And this will get you 5, will get you 7, will get you 9. So it's going to ignore the between. Yeah? And this way you will get 5, 7, 9. And now you understand. If you want to jump by 3, you want to do things. There is a way to go in a reverse order. If you want to start from 10 to 5, you just use minus there. It will get you in the reverse order. Now, if I want to jump by 3, so 5 and jump 3, then I'll get 5, then I'll get 8, and then I'll get nothing, yeah? Because there is nothing between 5 and 9 or 10 that has 2 jumps, it's only 1. So I'll get here basically 5 and 8, yeah? So 5 and 8, because I'm going by 3 steps, yeah? Stepping on the 3rd step, okay? So this is a way of slicing and dicing. There are more in it, but I think at this level, if you understand this, you are in a good shape. Then we will look at some exercises and other things, and the coming one will be more advanced on that one. So now we just creating slices of our data based on the index. Now this data, you can store it in another variable. You can say here, my data equal data 5, 10, 5. So the new variable, my data, will be your new data source that you can play with it. We'll come to that again. Now, selecting data based on a condition. So I want to select a student, for example, who scored certain total, more or less. Here example, how to find students who scored less than 60 in the total. So this is the total we added now. Now how I can find the student who scored less than 60? This is a tricky, but I think I managed to simplify it for you, and I hope you will get it easily. This is the way to do it. Back to your data. Now, I'm using data here because I stored my data that were in Excel into a variable called data. You could have used a different name. My data, student registration, student scores, course code you can use here, maybe whatever you want to show. So that my data where I'm searching in. Then you have open this bracket, and again, this is the one you need to use. The other normal bracket or the curly bracket or others will not work for you. And then you have a condition that you want to satisfy, which in this case we're saying the total is less than 60, yeah? Okay, that's close the bracket. Basically, that's what you need. But the challenge now is, what is that condition we're talking about? How I can write this condition? This is the way you write the condition. Basically, you're looking for data that in the column total that is less than 60, isn't it? So you're looking at the column here, data total column less than 60. That's your condition, isn't it? Isn't it? But you need to add to it this bracket we have here, which is this one, and you close it by this bracket, and you add the word data. So that's how it is. If you do that, you will get, there's only one student. So there is only one student who scored less than 60, 59. So back to it, you have a condition that you need to satisfy. Your condition is data in the column total less than 60. And then you put it in the format, which by adding those two brackets, and you put the word data. And this will produce for you the data. Now, there's only one student, but if we have more than one student, all of them will come in the list down. But because you have only one student in this list, that's what we received in this condition. I hope this now getting clear. Okay, I don't see any chat or question. There was a question, yeah, okay, good. Now let's move on. If I want now to do it in a different way, I said to you there's a different way, and instead of saying data bracket, then quotation, you could have used data dot total, this one, less than 60. This is okay, but the challenge with it, if the user or owner of the data added some extra space here, this would not work. And you know, with the column name, people sometimes add space. You will find someone write question space 1, question 1. So this will cause you problem when there is a space into the column name. But the safer one is this one. If there is a space, you get just add the space, it will work. But here, if you add a space, it will not work. But this is another way you can do it if your columns are not including spaces. You can also store, as I said before, the new data in a new data variable. So for example, F, student who scored F. Yeah, I can store this in student who scored F and run this one. This way I get all the students with Fs. So I can do some maybe further analysis on them or report it differently. So you can get that. Now assume I have more than one condition I want to satisfy. I need to find student with total more than 80 and total less than 90. More than or equal 80 and less than and equal 90. So I'm looking at those groups between 80 and 90. So how I can do that? The same thing, same formula, data condition. But what is the condition? In the past, we said we have to use data, then total more than 60, and the other condition. So this is the first condition, and the second one. You will say to me, this is the way to do it. Hamad, that's the way to do it. You just you say data of total more than 80 and data of total distance 90. You are 90% there, but this will not work for you. I know you will say we'll add to it this column, we'll add this column, we'll put data here. Now you are 95%. But there is an error will be generated because of this. Not because your condition is wrong, your condition is right, but because of the format. So Python Pandas will need this in a specific format. But what you need to do, you need a bracket here to put this condition in one bracket, and this type of bracket, a bracket you need, and then one bracket and bracket here. This way, your will be correct, and it will get you this group of students who are with total more than or equal 80 and less than or equal 90. So back, that's it. You need just to put the two conditions between bracket here. The big bracket is outside and outside here. Inside, you have one bracket with your first condition, which very similar to the first one. Then and, this and sign. If you use the word and here, it will not work. It doesn't accept the word and. So you need this and then open bracket and other condition. I'm happy to see there is a question coming. Quotations are missing. There is one quotation missing here and one quotation missing here. You are absolutely right. So there's a quotation here and quotation here, quotation here and quotation here. Okay, correct. Thank you very much, Imad. Yeah. So remember that there's a quotation here to close this one and quotation here. Okay, fine. That's the result you will get. Now let's get into looking at the other way to do it. If you want to read from CSV, this is CSV comma separated, and just put the file name. If you want to read from HTML, you can do that. In your application, you can read from so many sources in one application. Sometimes you need to get data from website and data from Excel and data from CSV and merging together. That's something we will do during this course. Now I have a data and now I want to plot it. So a chart is a faster way and there is a little bit more complicated. I always like the shortcut, the faster way to do it, and which I'll show you today. Now you need to show data. This is the way to data.plot and then kind. There are different type of plotting, as you know. There is the line chart, there is the bar chart, there is the box, there's so many different histogram, and so many things. So the way you do it, you say data.plot and then kind. I'm going for the bar chart here. And then this option is stacked equal true. Stacked means you can put one data on top of the others. Okay. Now, if you're reading the whole data, I'm using the whole data. Stacked sometimes help you visualize the data better. We'll come back to the details later. So you're doing that, you're getting a chart like this. So basically taking student result one by one and stacking for your question 1, question 2, question 3, and giving you a chart. You can see those people with higher things like that. So this is basically stacking it on top of each other. You can select just only one. You see the challenge here, I added including the total. I should not have included the total there. I need just only this for example. We'll come to how to take the total out. Now, if I want to do only the total, so data, total, dot plot, and then say kind bar, and that's it. I don't need stack because I have only one column that I'm going to display. So stacking with what? If I have 2 columns, 3 columns, I can stack them on top of each other, but I don't have here. So this will get me one like this. So the first student scored 85 something. The second one was, see quickly, I have this chart is there. You can put pie chart here if you would like to put pie chart. It's the appropriate one. And there is the box also. You can look at the outliers. We will come to this later in more details, but now just giving you a snapshot of that. Good, we're done with that. Let's jump now to the live coding. I can see here questions. It is really one double quotation. Okay, it's fine, good, thank you. And double quotation, very good, thank you. People are watching, and I can see people who saw that double quotation missing, which I'm very happy to see you are watching and following me. Let's go back here to our record so far. Is the design of electronic circuit is winning, but we'll come back to it. Let's go to the BBLN and do the practical now. Let's go there. I'm just refreshing my BBLAN. Now, when you know how to find the course, I did that in the video. Quickly, I'll do it now for those people who did not have the video. Can we have a copy of the slides? Absolutely. I will upload it to the BBLAN as well, and you will have access to the video. Now, here is the course. You go there, and once you get into the course, you will find these weeks here, and I'm adding it one by one. You will not see week 5, and because they're not there. And you have here the software. So click on the software, and today we're using Microsoft Azure Jupyter Notebook. I think in the video I explained why we're doing that and the advantage of it, but you will see it live now. I click there, I'm getting into this, and you can see I am not signed in. So what I see is like what you see. I need to log in using my account. So I click on sign in, and I'll log in with my HCT account, which I already have. And now I am there. So there is a folder for week 5, which we created. I have, as you can see, there are one assignment for you. We will go through it later when I finish. And I have a file that contains the student data, which is the Excel file. And I have one file that I created as course result. Now, if you want to work on this file, you need to click on it and clone it. If you do not clone it, you will not be able to work on it. Clone it means you create a version for yourself. You can clone anything we have here and create it in your account. It becomes yours. Later, after you work on it, you want to share it with me, you click on it, click share, and then you share it with me. Okay? So there is someone calling me, I'm not going to answer now. So let's open this file and see what we have there. Okay, so first thing we are getting into Jupyter Notebook, and you can see there are different menus and different things. Okay, this is the industry standard for using Python in data analytics. So you get familiar with that. So as we said, we need to import Pandas. So we're importing Pandas as PD, and then we're reading the data in a variable called data. Let's just call it student result. Yeah, I'm going to call it this way. So we just a little bit different. So this is a new variable I created called student result, and I'm using Pandas. I'm using read underscore Excel, and this is the file. See, my file is in the same folder, but assume I store that file in a different folder. On my Azure. Like here, for example, I created a subfolder and call it data and put the file inside that one. If I did that, I need here basically to put the subfolder, say data column, and then you go on. Yeah, but because it's in the same folder, that's where it is. Now you need to be careful with your file name. You write the right, correct file name. I'm using single quotation. You can use double quotation. And you can mix it, like here on the sheet name, I'm using a double quotation. It doesn't make any difference. Now, I need to run this cell on its own. So I need Control, Enter. I press Control, keep my finger on it. Now it did run, and you can see there is 1 here. 1 means it's running, collected data, store the data in the memory, and ready for me to do analysis on it. Now, what is my variable name? My variable name is student result. Yeah, that's it. So if I do that and Control Enter, it will display data. Now, if you have problem with Control Enter, you can do this by selecting here and click on Run Cell. That will run it for you. But Control, the one finger on Control, while that finger is there, you press Enter. It runs it. Now this gives me all the data. I see all the data here. Okay. Now wanted to add the total. Yeah, let's add the total of those columns. So we can say new variable for student result, a new variable, I'll call it total. If you look at the upper one, does not have total there. Now I want to do total. So student result total equal, and then I can just keep doing this. Say this one, and we'll use dot here. Question one, question one plus, and then we continue doing all of it. I have a long name, which I hate always doing that, but let's do that, and this becomes question 3, question 3 plus the last one is question 4. Okay. This is why always is good that you find a shorter name than the longer name. So now this total been added, and it's added to the memory of our computer. Now if I want to display again, I can say student.head. Let's take the first 5. Now you can see the first 5 came with the total added to it. Okay, so that's one way you can add. Now let's look at the one we said we can describe data. So if I say here, you can add a new cell, by the way. For example, you are here, you want to add a new cell. You can click plus here, new cell added here. So in between. The advantage here, I don't need to read the data again. I did read it once. And now I can start manipulating this data multiple of times. And let's do this. Say, describe, student result. Let me do something better. SR, new variable, I'll use it to store student result. See, now my variable, I have a new variable, short one. I like the short things. So this short one, I can play with it. It's the same data. Right? There's a copy of my data. Yeah? So I store the whole student result in a new one. Now, because it's a short one, I can play with it easily. So let me do that. So I did display now the head. Now the head, you can display by default the first 5. But if I want to display the 10, I can do this, and it will display for me the first 10 from 0 to 9. Yeah, and you continue. Let's add one cell here and go back to our student result. And we need to describe it. So describe, and see what we will get. So this is a description of our whole data. In the example in the PowerPoint, we just show describing one of it, like a question. But I'm describing the whole data. So it came to me column by column. The first column, there are 26. Everyone is 26. The mean for the first one is 19.57. The second one is 21, and go on. And the standard deviation is 4, 5 for each one. There's big standard deviation there. The minimum is 12 here in 3 of them, and the minimum is 59, and then 25% is that, 50%, 57, and 30, and 37. I don't see the course in my BB Learn. Can I subscribe? Yeah, Alice will add you. Send email to Alice and she will add you. I will add you as well. I think you're not added to the course. I'll just take the name and add it. Is file name / column name also case sensitive? Yes. Nada, how do I get total of columns? Yeah, that's what I think we did. I think we did total of columns. Yeah, you mean one single column? Yeah, that's a good thing. We will do that as well. Now, the next thing is slicing of the of the data, and let's do some practice on this. So now let's display our data again. Student result, okay, dot head dot all, yeah, press that. Now there's one thing I want to share with you, which sometimes will confuse you. Now, I did student result, control enter, I got everything. Assume I added another one, SR, I'm looking only for question 1. Yeah, I did these two. You know what I'll get? I'll get only question 1, and the first one will not appear. Yeah, it's not going to display both. In this case, if you want both, you need to use print and then SR and then print. And if there are two print out without using the word print in a single cell, one of them will be displayed. So this way I am getting both. I'm getting the first one, which printing the whole, which coming from SR, and the second one, which printing the second. Yeah. So when you have want to display data more than once in single cell, you need to add the word print or the command print. Otherwise, it will show only the last one. Okay, it's a minor thing, but you will do that. Now, describe again. You can use it for a single one, and that's what we did. Student results. I hope I'm not going that fast, and if I am going fast, please let me know. I can see a question in the chat. Hopefully, one in the chat. Could we have only 2 number after decimal? Yes, you can use round, and it will round it for you into 2 numbers only. Yeah, so use the word round. You can also in the print you can use percentage %F, which is similar to C language if you're familiar with C. And yeah, the round is the one you can use to round the data to whatever you want to do. Good. Okay, so let's proceed. Yeah, I think this one I don't need. I will delete this one, and I will delete this one. I already done it somewhere else. Now, looking at the data, searching our data. Yeah, let's go back and practice searching data. So I have here the whole data, and I need to display from SR. Okay, only data that the question from question 2 with the student score less than 10. That's the way you do it. There's nobody with that. Okay, everybody is doing more good. Yeah, so this more than 10. Let's take the opposite. So these are the students. All of them more than, yeah, absolutely. If more than 15, maybe, yeah, we'll get less number of students. More than 15. Same question 1, they're doing great, yeah. More than 20. Wow, this question was very easy. Okay, so we're getting less now. Now, this is the way to do it again. It's written this way. Here, you will have your condition. Okay, so what the condition is? The condition is SR, and I need to specify the column that I want to do, and then say more than or equal certain things, more than or equal 23, for example. And what the condition here? For which column? You write the column name. So the column name here is question 1. And that's it. This other way we could have done it is, again, it's our question 1. And that will be the same. This is again the same condition. But there is one issue with this one. If that question written like this one, question space 1, this would not work. Yeah. So is a safer way to do it is using this methodology of okay. So that the answers. If you want to do another one, and let's add one below this. And here is, I want to look at this one. Maybe I need to store it in something called M. So M equal, see if I do not run it and come here and run M, I'll get an error. Yeah, I'll get an error because I just added M here, but I did not run it. So I need Control Enter to run it first, and then I can come here and display M. Now this M new data, I can search it. So for example, I need student in M with a total between 80 and 90, or between 75 and 80, something like that. So M, and then comes my condition. Yeah. So what is my condition? My condition is M of total is more than or equal 70, and I'm doing it the wrong way, yeah? And M of total less than or equal 80. If I do this, I'll get an error. Here is the error, just to say it. So you get this long error and saying here the truth value of the ambiguous. Okay, absolutely, it's ambiguous. Because we need to add this condition within a bracket, inside a bracket, and this condition inside a bracket. Okay? And now if we do that, then we will get the results. Now again, the other mistake you could have done, you use the word and. If you use the word and, you will get another error saying not sure about it. So and it doesn't work, we need to use single. It's not like C or Java or other where you say double and, just only one and, yeah? And that's you get the number you want to do. Now I can see there's a question there saying, can we do all this analysis using graph interface and not typing? You can, yeah, you can, but trust me, typing is faster than that. If you get used to it, you'll find that you can do it faster than graph interface. And you have powerful tools in your hand. You can manipulate and create conditions the way you want it to be. But yes, you can. Now let's look into the plotting. Yeah. Now in the plotting, I'll do it for you two ways. Let's add a new cell here and do the simple way. Where did I do? Did I delete that one instead? I think I deleted instead of adding. Control Z. Okay, let it go. Now on our SR, we can say plot, as I said, and kind equal bar. This you will get a chart coming on the screen in a few seconds. It's running and will be coming, didn't come on my screen. Just a second. So I have a meeting. I will just if you give me 2 minutes. Sure. We use this. Yeah, I can sit in that one. Okay, team. I have to go to other meeting. And there is this is the one way to do it, and for a reason it's not coming to my screen. But the right way is to use the library called matplotlib, this library. So this library will allow you to do the same thing, but it allows you more powerful features you do. But I'm here using data. It should be SR. And it allows you to do many things. Here I'm just plotting everything. But if I want to plot only, I want to plot only question 1. So you can do it this way, and this will plot only question 1 for you. Sorry, question 1 for you. So you get only question 1. You want to plot only total, you can do total, yeah. And then you can use, if you want a pie chart, if you want, you say pie chart, comes pie chart. And there are many things, histogram. We'll come back to that one. I just need to get to wrap up what we been doing. And then we can get more discussion on this. Now, there is an assignment for you I want you to do, which I put here, week 5 challenge. Okay, if you go there and click on it and clone it, and then you can open it and start working on it. So this one will be an interesting one. I'm going to upload for you a file called 2017-10 schedule. This is our schedule. And basically, you need to import it, read that schedule, and then you do a few things like slicing data, take the first 7 row and other row and other information. I will hopefully complete this one and send you an email of what you need to do. So this you need to do it by next week. Basically practicing the same thing. But be open-minded and do extra things yourself. And I will link for you some tutorials on week 5 folders to do. And if any 1 or 2 questions you have before I go to the meeting and end this meeting. Okay, so I wish you a great weekend and enjoy playing with Python. The coding, you will get used to it. There are very simple code and not that many of it. I'll make the presentation available. The video will be available and you go through it and I'm sure you will enjoy it. So thank you everyone. And I will see who is the winner before we go and announce the winner from our competition. Now the winner is the design of electrical circuits. There's no big difference. We'll do that, but also I would like to recognize the one which the only one was in Arabic, looking at the Arabic language and doing some nice work on it and finding the root and things like that. So congratulations to the design of electrical circuit and wish you all the best. We'll get the prize coming soon to you. Thank you, everyone.